experiment called the Solomon Ash Conformity Experiment, and they did it on college campuses. They would pull 8 students into a room. 7 had been paid ahead of time to be actors, and 1 was a naive participant. The teacher put 2 cards on the front desk. One card had 1 line, and the other 3 lines. 1 longer, 1 shorter, 1 the same. And one by one, the paid actors would stand up and convincingly say that the shorter line was equal to the first line. By the time it went around to that 8th naive participant, 30% of them would deny their own eyes to fit in with the group. They found out that if just one of the other people objected, it went from 30% down to 5%. So in other words, if you have the courage to call out the truth, you're going to encourage a lot of other people to stand up.
Man, I feel like the worst thing you could be is the same as everybody else. What do you think, Candace?
I agree. I was going to say, what do you guys think about everyone that critiques either this show or what people
Our
like
show?
us do? Yeah.
Fuck them.
And
Fuck you.
He doesn't need anything else. No, but they say all you're doing is just talking about problems. You're not actually doing anything. Or
I feel that.
There's an importance, though, to calling out bullshit, and this science experiment kind of confirms that.
Yes.
So although we're not maybe, directly influencing policy change by calling out.
Yeah, not yet.
Right. Well, yeah, not yet.
Some of the coolest things that have ever happened to me is after a show, people will come up and they'll be like, man, you gave me strength to talk about this thing, or like, I saw you fighting this thing, and I started posting too, and it makes you feel good because you feel like, man, like all these sacrifices, and don't get it twisted, there were sacrifices for speaking the truth, and there probably will be going forward, especially in our industry. I know that you've experienced that as well. We are not getting rewarded for like, we're not counterculture because it's profitable. Believe me. It's just right. It's the right thing to do. And the Gulag Archipelago is probably the most formative book I've ever read in my life. And there's a salient quote that Alexander Solzhenitsyn said, and it said, "We know that they're lying. They know that we know that they're lying. We know that they know that we know that they're lying, and yet still they lie." And that is the ultimate form of power and the ultimate subjugation, where they can tell you that the sky is red. The news will tell you that the sky is red. And then you'll tell somebody, I think the sky is really blue. And they'll get mad at you for speaking the truth. They'll get mad at you, the messenger, not the people that are lying to them. We've seen it. We've lived through it. And it's a very, very, very difficult thing. But I do think that if people are like, okay, the sky's blue, I don't care. Go tattle on me. Go tell me. Cancel me. Do whatever you want. That doesn't change the fact that the sky's blue. You can call me anything. You can call me a racist. You can call me a transphobe. You can call me an anti-Semite. You can call me a Putin lover. You can call me a science denier. You've never called me wrong. Right. And that's what matters most.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, and I guess circling back to what you said about not, if that it's that old kind of cliche Gandhi quote, be the change you want to see in the world. Mm-hmm. Don't be a contrarian, but don't be a conformist. Mm-hmm. Live your truth. When someone's inauthentic, it's gross. You could smell it. It's like they give off almost like the vibe is so bad you can almost smell it. Mm-hmm. It's gross. You know what I mean? Be your best self. You want to be, I think we said in the last episode, you're perfect when you're being you. Mm-hmm. Be your true self. Live your truth. Speak your truth. And that's going to be contagious, and that's going to go around, and that will change the world. If you're brave enough to do it, someone else can be brave enough. You've been brave enough to do it for years, and you've inspired lots of people to do that. Mm-hmm. You are making a change. I think it's palpable. It's real, and it's the vibes. It's the energy. It's gonna keep that shit going.
There's another quote. It might be Solzhenitsyn also, and it's in times like this, just
he's a Rangers goalie.
Yeah, Igor Solzhenitsyn, the Shesterkin people, for the 11 people in the world who watch hockey.
Who get that joke? Yeah.
But it's in these times, in totalitarian times, just speaking the truth is an act of rebellion. It might be Solzhenitsyn. I don't know who said that, but it's so true. Like I just don't understand the people that go along to get along. the people who go along to get along, the people. It's one thing when you're manipulated and you don't know what you're being told is a falsehood. You don't know. But what about the people that know that they're being lied to and just go along anyway because it's easier? It's so hard for me to understand that.
Well, if you think, I don't know, the only thing that makes sense to me is if you think about a tribe or a herd of animals, if you want to conform, you want to be in the middle of that pack because that's the safest place to be from a predator, an outside threat. So if you're doing something that's separating you from group or group think, then you've just made yourself vulnerable to
You
an
made
attack.
yourself a target.
Right. So I think that it's probably on some level wired within us to conform, which is why so many people do it, because that's their safety in numbers.
Be fucking brave, man. Be brave. I think being brave is one of the most admirable qualities. Everybody feels fear. But, again, it's cliche. Everything you want's on the other side of fear. If you're brave and live in your truth, boy, you got a good recipe for a good fucking life.
So
That you're going to be proud of.
So then what do you think of the all these billionaires that are buying these bunkers and they're getting out of here and we'll see you later. I'm
Did you
buying
see
all this.
Zuckerberg's in
Under Hawaii? What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's literally a lair. Why? What do
What do
we,
you know
what do
that
you know,
us plebs
man?
don't know?
Yeah. But you know what? We listened to it'd actually be a good clip too. It was Royce White and Alex Jones talking about it. And he's breaking the 48 laws of power. He should be kind of helping the whole community. If he's giving money to everybody around him, when shit goes down, they're gonna be like, "Hey, Zuck was cool to us. We're not gonna go after him." I don't care how great your bunker is. Eventually,
It's a prison.
It's a fucking prison. You don't build a fortress, build a community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a very interesting. So Royce White's a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder with the way technology has advanced if they don't find those kind of leaders. Talked with Dan Holloway on the Citizen podcast about this.
Shout out Dan Holloway.
Great guy. Are they finding these leaders early on and are they nipping them in the bud early? Are they getting them jammed up? Is the algorithm? I mean, there's 13,000 data points on metadata right now. There's 13,000 data points on every human being that's ever been on a phone ever. You got 13,000 different things that are being processed multiple times a second. They're going to find a trigger. They're going to find a way to manipulate you, push you. They can elicit any reaction they want out of you at this point, right? Do they find the Washingtons? Do they find the Stoltenitsons? Do they find these potential the potential leaders, and stop the almost like a John Connor Terminator thing? Not that they kill him, but they push him out of the way. Are you guys following what I'm saying? I'm not articulating it properly, but these kind of farmers' rebellions, there's no organization. Everybody I know over 80% of people believe the same things about what's happening in society, regardless of what their political affiliation is. They feel the same trepidations. They feel the same anxieties. We all kind of feel something's off here, but then we never organize. And there's never anybody that comes out and is able to articulate a plan. And the next thing you know, it's like, hey, everybody loves Nikki Haley. You can't walk down the street and 5 people won't know who Nikki Haley is. But
I don't know.
Exactly. And she's now all of a sudden the presumptive non-Trump frontrunner.
Well, she's playing ball.
I think she's a Manchurian candidate. If you want to get crazy with my conspiracies,
Go
if
on.
you want to get crazy,
Let's do it.
I think she's the compromise candidate. It's like, all right, Biden can't. No one's voting for him. It's beyond the point where we can't even cheat it. Nobody wants this guy. Kamala is somehow worse than her. We're too late in the game to get anybody in. Donald Trump cannot get back in. He's too much of a liability. They're going to 86 him, and if they 86 him. Well, DeSantis pissed off the MAGA guys so much. Vivek is too much of a wild card, but he might be throwing sand in the microchip. And Nikki is...
He's ripping off Obama speeches, too.
Well, Nikki
Vivek.
is... She's
Vivek.
Vivek. Nikki is a female person of color. She's a Republican. Oh, Democrats are going to be happy, a female person of color. Republicans are going to be happy. We took the House back.
Nikki is?
She's... Yeah.
I thought she's white.
Nikki's not her name. She's Hindu, man.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought she was white.
No, what is Vivek?
Vivek.
Vivek got in trouble for calling her by her actual name in the last, called her like Nemeth or whatever her actual name is.
Dead named her?
Well.
Oh, is it because they're saying that Central America isn't going to want to vote for her if she's not white, and that's why she changed her name.
Like Middle America?
Central America,
Yeah,
like all
middle-
the people
yeah,
coming
middle.
across our borders, or like Chicago.
Well, like I don't know, like Kansas, Arkansas,
Yeah.
Kentucky.
I don't think voting matters, guys. I really don't. I think it's they're picking who they're picking, and again, this is all conspiracy theory. This is just my conjecture, but as I look at the chessboard, makes the most sense. Get rid of this
Gerard,
guy.
you
Throw-
might be too smart for your own good, buddy.
I've heard that.
You might be too smart for your own good.